The University of Florida is known for many things, one of which is located inside of the College of Journalism, and it is known as the Innovation News Center, or the INC, where students have the ability to produce and create their own news stories, which are later televised on station WUFT News. Today, I'll take you behind the scenes of one of our WUFT reporters' daily lives.
Hi, my name is David Jones. I'm a second-year telecommunication news student at the University of Florida. I work as a reporter at WUFT News, both on TV and on radio. So an average day for me reporting on Fridays consists of finding a pitch the day before, coming in, going to the morning meeting, pitching my story, hopefully having my story approved by the news managers, checking out equipment, and setting up interviews, heading out, getting my interviews, getting my footage, hopefully grabbing lunch at some point, and then coming back here to the J School, editing everything together and getting it in before the 5 o'clock show.
David starts his day off shooting on location.
Right now, I just got to the access road where ACSO says they found a man deceased.
He uses equipment checked out from the newsroom to obtain the best possible video for his story.
There's a couple investigators here, so I'm going to go over them, kind of tell them what I'm doing just so they don't feel off, and then probably just record them looking at the scene and everything.
But the investigators informed David of a leftover piece of evidence, a bloodstain from where a man was shot and killed.
I'm going to finish up shooting here. I'm going to shoot a look live. I need to be careful of what I'm going to say, but basically in the beginning of the look live, I'm going to say you can actually still see the blood stains. I'm just going to getting some different angles on this blood stain here.
And is this like controversial to put on TV, or what do you think?
Not really. It'll be different if, there was actual blood here. But this is just a stain. I mean, what happened here, so.
But footage of the blood stain isn't all David wants for his story.
So we're just kind of standing here waiting for someone to drive by who doesn't mind me sticking a microphone in their face and asking them about a murder they know nothing about. But for right now, I'm just going to start writing my scripts with what I know, and then we'll see what happens.
Unfortunately for David, most local bystanders are not willing to be on live TV.
You're good. Have a good day.
He said no.
But after multiple attempts, one woman was willing to discuss her opinion with us. Lastly, David makes a quick outfit change and sets up his equipment for his look live shot.
I'm going to do a look live, basically going to point at the blood stain and then lead into my package.
After filming, he packs up his equipment and heads back to the newsroom to edit as much of his package as he can.
I'm just pulling B-roll, I'm pulling my look lives and my sound bite that I have already before we go to this press conference, just so that once I get back, I don't really have all that much to do. I just kind of focus on the story.
There's a slight risk for some
The press conference starts in about half an hour.
David leaves his work open on a computer, hoping no one will touch it, and heads over to the Alachua County Sheriff's Office where he'll acquire some more information and footage regarding the shooting. He sets up his equipment alongside reporters from other stations and looks over the press release handed to him by the officer. The purpose of this press conference is to release additional information regarding the victim in question. The reporting officer answers any questions the reporters might have, but without fail, there are sometimes some technical difficulties.
While we're doing the technical stuff, I will...
It's 3:53, and this story needs to be on air at 5 at the top of the show. So, calculating about 15 minutes to get back there. Honestly, I'm just going to park illegally, and then track, edit, and hopefully have everything exporting by 4:50. We'll see how it works out.
After calling his producer for help,
Put in my lower thirds for me, please.
Yeah, just text them for me.
David returns to the newsroom and finishes up his package as quickly as possible before it airs on live TV.
So, the show starts at 5. I'm not great at math, but that's 8 minutes from now. It's really just kind of, trying to make the most out of the situation and hope that it comes out in time. And if it doesn't, well...
With only minutes remaining, David rushes over to make a voice recording to go over his story, also known as tracking. This is performed within one of the sound studios within the INC.
3, 2, 1. That man has now been identified as 24-year-old Devontae Jenkins from Citra.
David quickly reviews and saves his story, which is then reviewed by a news manager right before it goes live on TV.
Every day after I send my package in, I like to come into my news manager's office and watch it on this TV for two reasons. One, because I really appreciate good feedback and ways to improve, and two, because it's the only TV that has the show on.
The victim was just identified this afternoon.
When the show goes live at 5 o'clock, David's story is the first to air.
You can actually still see the blood stain on the ground. This is where Alachua County Sheriff's deputies say they found a man shot to death last night. That man has now been identified as 24-year-old Devontae Jenkins from Citra.
We don't know if that is a single killer or multiple killers that are responsible for Devontae's death. That part is an active part of our investigation.
Before midnight Thursday, deputies were called to the sound of gunshots near this access road off Southwest Williston Road. Investigators are still searching for a motive and suspects. People who work nearby are on edge.
It's actually really scary because I get here early in the morning when it's still really dark, and we have a wooded area in the back there, and you know, you kind of worry about your safety and security.
For the folks that know Devontae or his friends or his associates, who was mad at Devontae? Who would want to do this to his mother's son? There's somebody out there who knows the answer to that question, can help us resolve this case for the family.
And if you have any information that could help investigators in this case, you're encouraged to contact the Alachua County Combined Communications Center at 352-955-1818. For now, reporting on the southwest side of Gainesville, David Jones, WUFT News.
Well, overall, I'm really happy with how everything came out. It was definitely a stressful day, for sure. So after each show, we have what we call a post-show meeting, which is basically the producer, the director, production team, all the reporters and the anchors, as well as the news managers kind of gathering in the studio and talking about the show, what went right, what went wrong, what needs to be improved for next time. On Friday, since I had the first story, we talked about my story first. The critique was pretty straightforward. The biggest question was whether or not we should be showing a blood stain. There was a blood stain of the man who was shot and killed. It was just a little bit of a back and forth as to when we should show things like that, when it's too much to show the viewer. My own personal belief is that if it's out in public and any person walking by can see it, then there's not a problem putting it on TV.
All the hard work David puts into WUFT is very beneficial to his future.
So there's really not many programs like this in the country to where students have the chance to be on air, to have their content shown, to be able to have that, to face deadline pressure, to have news managers who are constantly trying to push you to better yourself and to improve, I think has helped me and has helped others to set themselves apart from people looking for jobs in this industry.
While the reporters play a huge role in creating the news stories that are presented each day, there is a behind-the-scenes team that helps to keep the show on track. This is also known as the production crew. The production crew is responsible for all technical duties present in the show, and we will now go behind the scenes of one of WUFT's own student producers.
I'm Kelly Hatton. I am a senior telecommunications news major. And I think my phone's ringing actually.
As you can see, Kelly plays an extremely busy role.
My name's Kelly Hatton. I am a senior telecommunication news major, and I am a news producer here at WUFT on Mondays.
Kelly starts her day bright and early at 9 a.m.
So in the 9:30 meeting, we kind of go over our stories for today, all of the reporters pitch, and then I also give everyone a rundown of stuff I found on the internet, kind of catch up everything. So basically, we're just planning the show in this meeting and what our newscast is going to look like.
Directly following the meeting, Kelly heads to her desk downstairs.
As a producer, I write all of the scripts, I manage the reporters, I staff the show, I create the rundown, I decide what order the stories go in, and then throughout the day, as things change and news breaks, I have to stay on top of that and keep updating the rundown as the day goes on. You can kind of see like the template for it. So we start with like a package, so that's like the reporter, like what a reporter turns.
For most of the day, Kelly and her reporters are stationed at their desk watching any news stories that may break.
So right now we just had our 2:30 meeting, so we kind of solidified all of our plans for the rest of the day. So all of my reporters are back now and they're editing their scripts and their package to go on air. So right now it's kind of just me helping manage them.
Does it ever?
About a crisis. Sports has not been saving any time for their feature package, and I think it's extra long.
I'll figure it out.
Okay, so you may be about a minute over by the time you get done. Because I think that's around 2:20.
So how often does something like this happen?
A lot, yeah. Since it's a student-run newsroom, everyone's very new at this, so it's definitely a learning experience every day. Just making sure everyone's on their game.
Before 5 o'clock, Kelly heads downstairs to the control room to get ready for the show.
So we're going into the control room right now, and this is where I booth the show, it's called. So I time the show, talk to my anchors, communicate any changes to anyone, and kind of just make sure everything goes smoothly.
But as a student-run television show, some days are smoother than others.
7, 6, 5, 4,
He's not till after the fourth quarter.
2,
1. Roll it.
First at 5, from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
During the show, Kelly observes and takes notes on any events that may occur regarding students or stories.
We have a critique after the show, so I kind of write notes for my reporters how they can improve in their next show, because every show is definitely a learning experience.
At the end of each show, students get ready for the constructive criticism that is to come.
There are definitely things that I would like to improve on, but overall you learn from, even the bad shows, you still learn from them. So, and it's good to kind of be able to critique things and stuff, and then people learn from their mistakes for next week. So that's a good thing. We come back every week, and hopefully next week we can have a better product. It's definitely a great experience. Not a lot of other universities have this, where we go live. People can watch it at their home. It's not just an online thing. Like, it is a live broadcast in every sense of the word. So it's definitely a great learning experience. It's as close to the real world as you're going to get in college. So I think it's been a great experience. When I go to employers and tell them I actually have experience producing a live newscast, that's something that they think is really interesting and something that really catches their eye when I'm applying for jobs.
The benefits students obtain through the WUFT News program are endless. The real-world, hands-on experience provided here is something students will take with them in their future endeavors. And one thing is for sure, no matter what you do in the newsroom, it's never boring.